Hello, I'm John Koenig, Chargé d'Affaires at the U.S. Embassy in Berlin. Recently, President Barack Obama signed the most sweeping economic recovery plan in the history of the United States. Other governments, including Germany, have launched similar programs to jumpstart their economies, to stabilize financial systems, and looking further ahead, to lay a new foundation for growth in the 21st century. A crucial element of long-term global economic growth is trade. America is a trading nation, and President Obama understands how critical open markets are to growth. Some have criticized the U.S. stimulus plan, claiming that Buy American provisions in the legislation create trade barriers. In fact, Buy American stipulations for public procurement have existed since 1933. They have not prevented the U.S. from being by far the world's largest importer, and they certainly have not prevented enormous levels of trade and investment between the United States and Germany, particularly in the last 20 years since the fall of the Berlin Wall. The Buy American provisions in the stimulus package apply mainly to the $150 billion that will be spent to upgrade crucial elements of America's infrastructure for the 21st century. These taxpayer dollars are not required to be spent on American products, however, if the required goods are not readily available in sufficient quantities. For example, $43 billion have been earmarked for environmental initiatives. Given the current enormous demand for alternative energy technology, there is a very good possibility that imports from Europe will be a part of the equation. The United States has set a strong example of sourcing materials globally for its domestic governmental projects. There are EU Buy European programs that are much more restrictive. The bottom line is that the United States remains fully committed to free trade and investment. The U.S. stimulus program is fully WTO consistent. What's more, it will lead to new jobs and new industries, not only in the United States, but in all of our countries. The resulting boost in competitiveness will strengthen world markets and speed recovery. That is in everybody's interest. Thank you.